Managing Director Rodney Trotter. What's our first move, boss? Rodney looked at the pile of unpaid bills on the counter. Our first move is to find something to sell. Something that doesn't involve the Sultan of Brunei or the BBC. Chapter 9, The Electronic Revolution. Rodney's first official act as managing director was to meet with Monkey Harris. Monkey was a man who lived up to his name short, agile, and always looking for a way to climb a bit higher on the social ladder. He met Rodney in the back of a van parked behind the Nag's Head. "I've got a consignment, Rodney," Monkey whispered, opening a cardboard box. "Electronic personal organizers. Top of the range. They tell the time, store 500 names, and have a built-in calculator. They're selling like crazy in the West End." Rodney picked one up. It was a sleek, black plastic device that looked like something from a low-budget sci-fi movie. "How much?" "For you. A tenner apiece. I've got 200 of them." Rodney calculated. 200 at £10 was 2,000. If they sold them for 30, that was for £1,000 profit. It wasn't 50,000, but it was a start. "I'll take them," Rodney said, trying to sound executive. "But I'll need to pay in installments. Cash flow, you understand?" Monkey nodded. "I understand. Cash flow is the soul of business. I'll drop them off at Nelson Mandela House tonight." When Rodney returned to the flat, he found Del Boy trying to fix the washing machine with a bent coat hanger. "Good news, Del. I've secured our first inventory. Electronic personal organizers. The future of business. We're going to modernize Peckham. One address book at a time." Del looked at the device. "Electronic organizers. People round here can barely organize a trip to the toilet. Rodney, who's going to buy these?" "Everyone. Busy professionals, students, anyone who needs to stay on top of their game. It's executive stress management. Del, chic." Del said, his eyes narrowing. "They look a bit plastic. Are they waterproof?" "Why would they need to be waterproof?" "In case it rains on the market stall. Rodney, think. Avoirdupois." Chapter 10. Iconoclastic Autosuggestion. While the business world was being revolutionized by plastic organizers, the domestic world of the Trotters was entering the realm of fantasy therapy. Cassandra had insisted, after the stress of the bankruptcy and the game show disaster, she felt their relationship needed a reboot. She had found a book by an American psychologist who spoke of memory baggage and the need to create our own make-believe world. Iconoclastic autosuggestion. Rodney explained to Del Boy while they were sorting the organizers. It's about rejecting reality and becoming different people, just for an evening. "Sounds like what I've been doing for 40 years, Rodney," Del quipped. "What's the catch?" "We write down our fantasy figures, and then we become them. No dressing up. It's all in the mind. But as with everything in the Trotter household, the no dressing up rule was the first to go. Thursday night arrived. Del had agreed to take Raquel and Damien out to see a film, giving Rodney and Cassandra the flat to themselves. Or so Rodney thought. "I'm taking them to see that new cartoon," Del said, adjusting his coat, "the one about the singing fish. We'll be back late. Enjoy your auto-suggestion." Rodney waited until the door closed. He went to his bedroom and emerged 10 minutes later wearing a leather skirt, a plastic chest plate, and sandals. He looked like he had been rejected from a high school production of Spartacus. Cassandra emerged from the bathroom. She was wearing a police uniform, complete with a hat and a plastic truncheon. "Rodney," she gasped, "I thought we said no dressing up." "I couldn't help it. Cass, the book said to fully immerse yourself. I'm Russell Crowe in Gladiator. And well, I'm a detective from the Bill." Cassandra sighed. "You look different." "Strength and honor, Cassandra," Rodney said, striking a pose that nearly caused his chest plate to pop off. "Now, let us unload our baggage." They sat on the sofa, trying to be reborn, but the atmosphere was somewhat dampened by the smell of those lingering cigar smoke and the faint sound of the neighbors' heavy metal music. So Rodney began, trying to deepen his voice. "On my signal, unleash the feelings. Rodney, I don't feel like a detective. I feel like an idiot. That's just the memory baggage talking. Rejected. You are an officer of the law. I am a hero of Rome." Suddenly, the front door burst open. "We're back," Del Boy shouted, stumbling in with Raquel and Damien. The cinema was full. Apparently, every kid in Peckham wants to see a singing fish. He stopped dead. He looked at Rodney. He looked at Cassandra. "Oh, my God," Del whispered, his eyes widening. "Rodney, what have you done to her? Is she arresting you?" "It's therapy, Del," Rodney hissed, trying to hide behind a cushion. "Go away." "Therapy? You look like you're about to fight a lion in a police station." Del started to laugh, a deep, wheezing sound. "Raquel, come and see this. Russell Crowe and the Bill are having a meeting in our front room." The fantasy was officially over. Reality hadn't just returned, it had kicked the door down and started laughing at them. Chapter 11, The Sultan's Shadow. A few days later, the executive's stress was reaching a fever pitch. The organizers weren't selling as well as Rodney hoped, mostly because people in Peckham preferred to write their numbers on the back of cigarette packets. Rodney was sitting at the kitchen table, Mozart playing softly in the background, when the phone rang. Trotter's Independent Traders, Managing Director Rodney Trotter speaking, he said, trying to sound bored and important. "Good evening," a voice said with a thick, exotic accent. "I am wishing to speak with Managing Director." Rodney's eyes narrowed. This is easy.